Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is for you, wherever you are. I'm Barbara Watson, and we are here to talk about sacred questions, otherwise known as soul questions. And we're doing this with this new Facebook Live, which is the second time we're using it, and I think it's becoming a bit more familiar. When you come in, if you're on Facebook, click that join button and make a comment of some sort. Say hi, or if you have questions, plug them in, whatever. Just so I know you're here, you know the drill. And if you're watching this on YouTube, again, looking at the subscribe button if this is the type of content that interests you, and that notification bell so you'll know when I post more. What we're going to do here is follow up on the spiritual bypass live that we did recently. And it's come up for a couple of reasons. Some of the questions that we went through there, people were asking, well, when you ask, what does this mean for me? What does this actually mean? How do you get there? So that's one reason why we're doing this. And the other is because I had put up a post in my group on sacred, what's sacred for you? And I had questions. Well, what do you mean by sacred? So I thought, okay, great questions. Let's go over this. So backing up just a bit, we will go through what are sacred questions. We will look at how they can help guide us to get to our own inner peace where we're going in meditation and reducing our stress generally, and then some techniques as well to do so. And backing up just a bit more, I want to make the point again that meditation is spiritual. It is not religious necessarily. It can be. If you are religious, any religion at all, meditation can certainly help deepen your religion. But you do not need to be religious in order to practice meditation. Meditation is a spiritual thing, going to the soul, the spirit, and it gets to the essence, if you like. So that's the difference between the two. So we're looking at sacred questions here. Again, some examples. What does this mean for me is the one that came up, but there are other examples. Some of you have had my life purpose meditations where you get, these are the big questions, if you like. As they say, they get to the essence. They are questions that are actually, they're set apart to provide guidance as we move to the soul, that still small space deep inside us that we all have, that universe or the God or the source or whatever you call it, however you refer to it. And some of the big questions are, well, one, who am I? Now, some of you have done this with me, and right now this world is in a state of turmoil, as we all know, I'm sure. And because of that, in part because of it, this is a great time to sit back and meditate, and ask yourself, who am I? At my very essence, in other words. Not my labels. When you ask this question, we tend to identify with our labels. I am whatever my name is. I'm Barbara. I'm a teacher. I'm a woman. I'm a golfer. I'm a swimmer. I'm a dog lover, etc. So the labels. But we are so much more than our labels. And who am I is designed to get down to that. Not in 10 minutes, not in 20 minutes. It can be a whole lifetime of asking, who am I? Because things change, don't they? So that's an example of it. Another example, what do I want? And this means, what do I really want? What is my deepest desire? So when I first teach this with people, beginning meditators, and it could be what they want, could be something material even, or spiritual, or something to do with health, relationships, whatever. People come and begin meditation for various reasons. And when they ask themselves, what do I want? That's what comes. What you do is you listen with your heart. You put your attention on your heart when you ask these questions. You let your heart answer. You let your heart guide you. These are not intellectual. They're not up here. You're not looking for answers coming from your mind. You're looking for answers coming from your heart. And if you do get answers, you acknowledge them and you let them go and wait and just see if others come. And if you don't get answers, that's fine. Just because you've asked the question helps you move in that direction. And you just don't give up. Just keep asking the questions. Now, one of the things this does, how they help guide us, is they take us from that consciousness level, that awareness level, that we are all at our daily beta brain waves level, where we function in this world. They take us and integrate that with the higher consciousness that we talk about in meditation. So we're increasing our awareness, we're increasing our vibrations, meaning our frequency, and we're increasing our consciousness levels until we get to know ourselves deep inside and we understand that we are one with the universe, etc. These are our, and then we get to what T.S. Eliot called, well, you get to the end and you're back at the beginning again. It's a lifelong quest. But not only does it integrate those two levels, it also ultimately integrates the shadow self. Now, that's another topic that we can discuss some other time. It's sort of beyond the scope of this, but I want to introduce it now. So you're integrating your shadow self with your consciousness level, your higher consciousness, and you become one. It all becomes one. The shadow self is what? Well, again, you could spend a lifetime on that. But basically, think of those parts of yourself that you kind of try to keep hidden sometimes. You don't really want people to see them all the time. So think of it that way. So that's how these questions can help guide us, because until we integrate even that shadow self, we are not whole. So we need to integrate that within ourselves, come to terms with it within ourselves, and allow it within ourselves. And then we can move to managing it. So that's how these questions help. Now, some of the techniques, certainly breathing. How many times have you heard me say that? Just sit right now, take a deep breath in, follow your breath, attention on your breath, and out. Do this to your own rhythm. And again, breathe in. Look at your breath, follow it, notice it, witness it, and out. This is a grounding technique, among other things. And again, breathing to your own rhythm, grounding, going barefoot. I've said that before, haven't I? Sending down a grounding cord. There are many ways of doing this. And also, technique-wise, bring your attention to your heart. As you ask these questions, bring your attention to your heart. If it helps, take your hands one over the other and put them over your heart, because that's the sense of touch, and that can help as well. You know how the sense of touch helps to quiet an upset child, for example. Give yourself the sense of touch. In fact, give yourself a great big hug, and on your heart too. All of that helps. And then as you ask these questions, or just as you're sitting there when you think of it during the day and you're not even meditating, give yourself a hug. One of the other things that we move into in classes is softening your belly. Soften your belly right now. Take your attention to your abdomen. Soften it. I know you can. We are often culturally taught to tighten our bellies. Suck it in. Even phrases like that tell you that. Or, these are our cultural definitions of beauty in some places. A flat abdomen doesn't allow the abdomen to soften, to open up. Stephen Levine's work talks about the relationship between the hard heart and the tense belly. They go together. So with your attention on your heart, softening your heart, soften your belly consciously, because this is something that we don't do automatically. Consciously soften your belly. Every time you hear me say that phrase, do it a little bit more, because you can. Just take your attention there. This is a technique you can use anytime. Soft belly, open heart. And when you soften your belly and your attention's on your heart and you ask these questions, then you make more room in yourself, in your belly, for whatever comes up in these questions, whatever comes into your awareness. It could be some hurt, some pain. It could be some aches, some stress, whatever it is. You make room for it to float. in your soft belly. Let it float. Allow it. You need to allow this to even make friends with it and say, oh, there you are. Okay. And just let it be. Release it if it's ready to go, when it's ready to go. But again, don't try to push it. These things have a way of coming and going when they are ready. And that means when you are ready, but you in that intellectual mind doesn't really know that. So does that help? I see one person in here. Hi, Perky. Glad to see you. I don't see any others, but I think we're working with this new system, so that's good. And I don't see any questions. Um, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're on the replay, uh, again, type them in. Tag me to make sure I get them. And if you know anybody else who can use this information, and I think there are probably lots who could, feel free to share this video. Just click that share button. Sometimes you have to click the video itself and it opens a new window and then you can share it. But whatever, send it to your mother, your dad, your brother, your best friend, whoever it is, or anybody you happen to know. And let me know again if you have any questions. All righty. Hope this helps. Take care. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.